Hi all, this is Night Elite, and this is my first video about Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. In this video I am going to test which method of loading cargo into open-hulled trucks is the fastest, whether loading from an open storage directly or loading from a road cargo station. And this started out with the discussion I got into online about with more volume, it might actually be more worth it to use the road cargo station because the number of trucks that could load at once would offset the loading speed bonus from the loading in the open storage directly, and I was curious if that was the case. So here is the test setup. On the left we have all the trucks are set up to go to the road cargo station, fill up, and go to the other road cargo station and empty. And you can see that the open storage on the other end is empty. Second one, they both load and unload from the open storages directly. Third one, see that they're loading from open storage and unloading in the road cargo station. And last one is load in the road cargo station and unload in the open storage. And I'm going to do each of these results several times, record how long it takes, and then determine which way is the fastest based on for this and depending on how many trucks we have. So how this is going to work is that for each test I'm going to initially set the vehicles to have no fuel by hitting Control F, which you can see here sets the fuel from full to 10 liters, and by doing this on every truck, that's going to make sure that they all go fuel up right away. And you'll notice I tweaked the gas station here a little bit since my earlier test showed that the fuel station, how I had it set up before, was introducing a lot of variability into the test results. So this way it should be fair that every truck will always fuel at the start of the test, and that should only be the only time it fuels, and that should avoid a single truck refueling, especially if it's, say, the last truck in a long test, throwing off the results by several seconds. So I will set all the trucks to have no fuel. I will then click play on one truck to go for each one. So, and then once that's done, the trucks will drive, and I'm going to measure the time it takes from when I unpause until the truck returns back into the road vehicles depot where it started, and that's going to be the result for that test for that variation of the setup. I'm going to do several runs of that, and I'm not going to show them all because that'll be fairly tedious, but I'll show some highlights or little snippets of each one, I guess, and see what the results are. Okay, so what have we found with all this? Well, it's pretty clear that with a smaller number of trucks, the open storage to open storage time is much better than the cargo station to cargo station time. Though as we increase the number of trucks, the two results do start converging together, where at 12 trucks they're almost exactly the same or very close. So there is some merit to the theory that with more volume, the loading bonus speed from the open storage does become less relevant, but that said, it was still always the case that open storage was faster with everything up to 12 trucks, and even then it was still barely faster. So I would say from this that we can conclude that loading from open storage is the better option. I've also got this chart which shows the difference of the other options as compared to the open storage to open storage time. So we can see here that with only one truck, cargo to cargo, cargo station to cargo station is 17 seconds slower, with two trucks 18.5 seconds slower, and then after that the difference gets less until we hit 6 trucks, where the cargo station's all the way full. Goes up again when we get to 7 trucks, where not all the trucks can fit in again, and then eventually converges down to almost the same at 12 trucks. Whereas some of the other ones, if we load from cargo station, or sorry, load from open storage, this gray line, and unload at the cargo station, for whatever reason, this was, I guess cargo stations are slower at unloading than open storages are as well, but this was still very consistently 7 seconds slower just about at every point along this chart. So you gain the advantage of the faster loading time of the open storage, and you may have slightly slower unloading time in the cargo station, but I think that this is actually the more realistic one to mimic the behavior of trucks loading from storage and then going to a construction. So, and given that it seems to stay basically flat regardless of how many trucks we have, this seems to show as well that going with the open storage type model is probably better most of the time. It takes more than 10 trucks at once going to get stuff before loading from a cargo station outperforms loading from open storage, even if you're unloading to something slower than another open storage. So that's so I think from this data here, I'm thinking that there's I haven't scaled to more than 12, but everything up to 12 trucks going to an open storage at once, which you'd have to have a lot of construction yards to see more than that. You're going to get better performance by loading directly from the open storage than loading from a road cargo station. And I just want to demonstrate another point here as well. If we look at this video, this is one of the runs with 12 trucks, and this one over on the second one from the left is the ones loading directly from open storage. And one thing that we're going to see here if we watch this is that the time to get the first load of material when loading from open storage, and you see it in the third one here as well, which is the other group loading from the open storage, is much lower. So see, the first truck's already unloaded now, and in this one over here, the first truck's now unloaded. In the meantime, the first truck is only just arriving in the case where we were loading from road cargo station. So if you were mimicking the behavior of a construction yard that was waiting for, say, a load of steel before construction could even start, but you had workers present and going, or an excavator, or whatever it is you were waiting for, loading from open storage also means that your machines are idle for less time because the load would arrive slightly sooner. So I think that's an additional advantage that wasn't really captured by the data I recorded in my test, that the time from when the request is initially made, or in this case my starting the test, to the first material being delivered is faster as well when you load from open storage. So I am willing to conclude that you should load open haul trucks from powered open storage essentially always. So thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this video.